The priests are on the bottom. Then there's the bishops over them. And then over them are archbishops. And over the archbishops are cardinals. And over the cardinals are financial powers, international bankers. And then over them is the Pope. And over the Pope is the Jesuits. And over the Jesuits are the secret societies of the Roman Empire that still exist today. And so, yeah, as a pyramid, it's always a pyramid scheme. There's powerful people as you go up. And therefore, everybody that you see are very powerful people. No, they have bosses also. And they listen to their bosses. And so everybody is a boss over everybody beneath them. But priests, especially Catholic priests, know what they're doing. They know it's not true, the thing that they're teaching to people. Because I have talked with rabbis who tell me, and I've confronted them in private conversations. And that's the way you find out what people really know, is when you talk to them personally by themselves. In the New Testament, Jesus is saying to the people of his day, you have formed for yourselves teachers. This is why you are so screwed up in your mind, because you have formed for yourselves teachers. Meaning, that's what we do. We form associations, and they are clubs, and those clubs become sects, and then from the different political and religious sects, they become churches and fraternal orders and Masonic orders. And before you know it, they become full-fledged churches. And now that they're churches, you have to decide what the people who are going to join your church will understand and what they will believe. So you have to form a seminary for people to go to study. Well, and so if you go to a seminary and you study hard and you answer the questions correctly, then you get the imprimatur of Caesar on you. The government gives you an accreditation, and now you can become a priest, and now you can become a minister. Why? Because the religion you belong to is under the government, and the government gives you permission to be a minister. And therefore, all of this is man-made stuff. It's all man-produced, interpreted by man, financed and organized and directed by man and his government. And so the bottom line is, everything it is you think you understand and believe is all a man-made institution. And that's exactly what the scripture said. You have formed for yourselves teachers. In other words, the divine presence in the universe that you call God has not appointed the people that you hold so dearly because they're the clergy in your church. No, you the one put them there. God didn't put them there. They're blind, just like you are. The blind leading the blind, and you're blind, and you're following them, and they don't know any more about it than you do. And so the blind leading the blind have both fallen to the pit. And so that's where we are today. People are falling prey to all kinds of nonsensical silliness, ignorance. Why? Because the people in power are teaching them, and they don't know any more about it than you do. And so it's just a business. All countries, all the nations of the world, and all the religions of the world are corporations. That's something we need to understand. All governments on the earth are corporations. They're business. They are nothing but a money-making, controlling corporation. And that's what a government is. It's a corporation. And that's what you are. You are a corporation. That's why we say, I tell you that somebody is bad company, and you say, mind your own business. What do you talk about, mind your own business? And the bad company. Company and business, yeah, and when you get married, you're going to have a partner. This is all commerce. It sounds like nothing but a business. Business, company, partner. And so the whole entire world you live in is a business, Mr. Beale. It's a profound world of business and money and corporations, and it's all being put together by we, the people. And so we are leading ourselves with our own silly ideas and our own ignorant beliefs. We are following, and so that's why I've said so many times, the more we change, the more we stay the same. We're still believing the same stuff we've always believed for thousands and thousands of years. We're still believing it today, but we just call it something different. Mankind's spirit wanting to help other people in need. It doesn't have anything with your particular religion or your God. It just has to do with a fraternal feeling among people. Your church is filled with people who appreciate when other people are in trouble to go out and help them. Right. We don't want to see children starving. We don't want to see people not do something to help them. So it really doesn't have much to do with your religion. It has to do with we the people. And people want to help each other. It's really very interesting, though, when you find out where the religious teachings that you believe, where the philosophies that you're following in your church, where they came from, where they first started, and go back and see where it began. That's what I'm trying to do, is wake people up to the fact that you think you may have the truth. You don't. You think you have. But your teachings and your belief systems are based on what other men have come up with in the past, in the ancient history. There were people asking the same questions thousands of years ago that we're still answering and we're still asking today. Where did we humans come from? Where did we go when we leave here? When you die, where are you going? where you don't even know where you came from. And we can tell by the way you're living, you don't even know what you're doing now. So how in the world would you even want to think about where you're going to go when you leave here? Just be happy you're going. The fun is in the trip, so don't worry about where you're going. Just learn and understand what you're doing here and where you come from, and then you can pretty well figure out where we're headed as people on the earth. And let me give you a couple of examples of what I'm talking about how we accept things today, and we think we understand where they come from and have no idea in the world. Christians talk about being baptized. And when you're baptized, we say when you come out of the water, you're born again. And they become a born-again Christian because they were baptized. Why do you have to be baptized? Well, that comes from the idea that it's a very old and a well-established understanding of the human family that when your mother gave birth to you, her water broke. You came out of water. Her water broke. Then you came out and you were born into this world. And so if you're going to be born again, you have to go back into your mother's water and try it again. Come out this time out of your mother's water and live a different life. And so therefore you're going to be fresh and clean. You've washed away your old life. You come out of your mother's water. Mother Nature, Mother Earth. The earth is your mother. And so you go back into her water, into a stream or a river or something, and you douse yourself in Mother Earth's water. You come out of your mother's water, and now you're born again. That's where it comes from. You're just cleaning up your life by going back into your mother's water and coming out to be born again. Very simple. Another classic example is tithing. And some people are giving 10% of what they earn. Some are 20%. Some are 2%. People give money to their religious organizations. We call it tithing. Well, God doesn't need any of your money. But why do we have a tithing? It's because the ancient world, going back to Europe, realized that when you collect your food at the harvest season, you leave about 10% of the seeds in the food in a storage bin. Why? So that next year you can now have something to plant again. If you eat everything that you have planted last year, then you got nothing to plant next year. So now what are you going to do next year? You're going to starve next year. And so what you do is take 10% of whatever it is you were able to harvest. Take 10% of your harvest and put it into a storage house. And now next year you will have seeds to plant for more food to come. And so what you're doing is you're giving back 10% of what God has given you to eat, giving it back to God by putting it in the earth, and hopefully it will draw interest and you will have food to eat next year. So that's where the idea of giving 10% back to God. It's not to give money. No, the money is going to the people, to the corporations, to the church, which is a business. No, the reason why you give money is because you're giving 10% of the food and the seeds back into God. You're putting it back into the earth, and God makes it grow, and so God will give you something to eat next year. That's where the tithing comes from. It has to do with agricultural, saving the seeds for next year. But we today say, wow, that's a great idea. We could package that. That's a wonderful idea. Make everybody believe God needs our money, and we can build big churches, build these monstrous, huge Vaticans and incredible temples, cost millions of dollars, and just rape the people and rip them off and take all their money. And if they don't give it all to the Lord, then they're going to go to hell because the church needs the money. God needs the money. And who's going to be the beneficiaries of the money? The priests. They're the ones that are collecting it. They don't have to go to work. You do.
You got to pay them somehow, and that would be by taking some of the currency, because you got to adjust part of the cash flow. Notice how these words sound a lot like water, right? Yeah. And I wonder where I got that idea from. Oh, right, Jordan's with me.